Have the stresses of finishing your mini really got you down? The internet's full of too many ideas and you don't know where to start? All you have left is to do that base, but you don't have the supplies? Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't need water effects, flock, or tufts. Because today we're looking at the basics of basing. What we're going to do here is quickly becoming one of my favorite techniques. This works whether you're doing lightning, lava, acid, or maybe like a shattered earth. This one here is going to be lightning for my fire slayers. I'm going to start off with a deep rich blue, and this is a void blue by Reaper. Then I'm going to come in with brilliant green, also by Reaper, and kind of do a very random pattern in this. This one here will almost not show up at all. I'm really smart, I thought ahead, and I decided not to film hitting it with Spectral Glow, which is a very bright, vibrant blue. But instead I just skipped ahead and I did the white. Do it in varying patterns, speckle across all of them, kind of go as chaotic as you can. And here is where the magic's going to happen. We're going to lather it up with a bunch of glue, and when we go to paint it after this, this is going to be what does the actual crackling. Play around with different consistencies and textures, see which ones you really like the most. A little bit more water in this glue, a little bit more thicker of a layer on this one. Maybe you build it up just a little bit, come back again. I'm going to do a little bit different across all 5 of these, just because I like to have a little bit of a variation across my army and not have it be, completely consistent. Now we hit it with the spray paint, and that's going to be what gives us the crackle effect. The next set of mini bases that we're going to do, we're going to kind of create a dungeon tile or a ceramic alternating checkered pattern on this. This one's extremely simple. It'll take a little bit of time until you get used to it, but we're going to hit the base of our checkered pattern here with an off-white, and I'm going to use the grid of my cutting mat to help guide my eye so that I can get it as straight and consistent as I can across the piece. When you're doing smaller ones, you can kind of divide it in half, maybe do a little bit of a corner, but on the bigger ones here, it just gives you a better idea of the pattern. When we're all done, that part didn't have to be perfect because we're going to come back in with a black, true up all the spots, give it a deep, even base coat around all of it, and really make all those corners and edges as crisp as we can. This will go by here pretty quick. As we're finishing it up, we're going to go down to where that little lip that you see at the end, and we're going to fill that one in just to kind of give that last little bit of the checkered pattern. Don't get lazy at this part, hit all of it. Even that little tiny pattern at the end really tends to sell it. The last stuff that I like to do, this is for my Flesh Eater Court army, is I give a contrast over all of it, like a sepia. And this just makes it look dingy and dirty. You could stop it early. This is my go-to one for all the Soul Blight. This is a very quick, very easy one. Yet again, the longest time that you're going to have is letting that regular PVA glue dry right there. Just get a nice coat of all-purpose general construction sand. It has a lot of good varying textures on it. Once it's dried and primed, I like to hit it with Ronix hide. I like it for all my dirt bases. Any burnt umber though will work. Now as we go into the next part, I take a little bit of that burnt umber, mix it in with an oxide red, and it gives you a nice like red earth or just a varying color as you go through all of it. The final step on this is I just mix up a couple of tans. Make sure you're not going in just straight across. You swirl a little bit of motion. And now the final one is I glued some little cork bits onto it. I hit it with a couple of different layers of grays. I used a good intermittent blue, and then a couple different layers of light gray as you build up to a white, and then finally that tan that we did across all the other dirts. These are all really quick methods. You can knock them out in record time. The longest period that you have is just waiting for all the glue to dry. And this is the most important step right here across all the bases. Give it that nice, crisp, clean, black line. And just like that, we created 4 basic bases with little to no product and little to no expense. In a second here, we're going to take a look at a couple of B-rolls of all the bases that we just did, plus how they look finished with the minis on top of them. These work great for Dungeons & Dragons, Warhammer, and other tabletop RPGs. So please, if you like the content, like, subscribe, possibly even share. And always, my friends, remember, Ta'a Bucha Nanas.